Well, good day, friends. Keith Allen with Material Indicators here with a little live pop. It's been about almost 2 weeks since I've done one of these. So today seems like a very good day to do that since I woke up to some very active charts and lots of curiosity and questions in our trading community. At Material Indicators on Telegram. So today we're going to talk about how to use FireCharts CVD tools to identify rug pulls versus when liquidity is taken and liquidity is moved. For those who don't know, FireCharts are part of our suite of trading tools. That you can find at materialindicators.com. We have a trend precognition tool. We have an MTF mean reversion tool that's just absolutely incredible for identifying opportunities. And, you can use it as a screening tool or just use it to automate your trades. And of course, FireCharts, which is what we are going to get into today. Of course, this is not trading advice or investment advice. I'm not a financial advisor. Nothing I say should be deemed as financial advice, and you should always consult a licensed financial advisor for any of these serious moves. Trading is extremely risky. Never, ever risk more than you can afford to lose. And if you have not yet mastered risk mitigation, I encourage you to do so before you place your next trade. Really, it is the most critical part of trading. As I mentioned, we have a phenomenal community on Telegram, and we encourage you to come join us there. We've got, close to 1,000 traders around the globe, really engaging every single day, talking about what's happening with the market as market moves. We've got people watching out for each other, pointing out opportunities that are coming, pointing out risks that seem like they might be pending. So I encourage you to join us on Telegram. And of course, if you're following along on Twitter at MI_algos. Lots of tutorials for what we're doing. You can find them on the website. We're also at the top of the website. You can see that Telegram invite button. I really encourage you to join us there. It's a fantastic community. Everybody raves about being there. That it's just so much different than a lot of what else is on the market. Again, my name is Keith Allen, and I apologize. A little down and dirty today. Woke up and just life was very active this morning. So you got a clean shirt and a hat out of the deal today. So I'm excited about sharing with you what we have in store. So without further ado, let's jump into a live fire chart. This is part of our live web app, and see what we might learn here. Let me just do a quick shared screen and open the live web app here and share that with you. Okay, so here's a look at our live FireCharts web app. I'm going to load it fresh here for you just so you can see a fresh reload. If you're new and haven't seen this tool yet, this is very simple. We support all BTC and USDT pairs on Binance currently, and are currently in the process of expanding to be able to accommodate additional exchanges, which will happen right here. You put in your coin pair right here. Somebody just asked me, actually Fred just asked me to show you guys this one. So let's take a look at this chart right here and see what's happening right now. Lots and lots of buy pressure happening here on USDT. You can see overhead where the resistance is sitting, and just a little bit of support here. As we go further down, that's pretty much this is pretty much where support rests. Let's see what the of BTC pair looks like. Just for a gander, BTC in a bit of a pullback right now, and as you can see, hitting some support right here. I have to see if that holds, but seems like a lot of the alts, and especially ETH, has been past couple days exiting into BTC as BTC has been soaring, but now BTC in a bit of a pullback. And let's take a look at that, because this is what I woke up to this morning here. Woke up, had some positions on the overnight that were in a trailing stop loss, and woke up to something that was concerning to me. And that was some moves in the support. And let me zoom out a bit and show you what I'm talking about. This right here, this was $13.7 million, $13.8 million of support sitting down here. And as you can see on the price tool, the tag tool, 14 in that 14.7 range, right? Now, it just seemed to disappear. And, it's been there for days. So it seemed like it was in a solid position. And it would make sense that perhaps this is a whale or a pool of whales or an institutional trader that has obviously a large bag here and the ability to place these buy and sell walls. So when this moved, I immediately started looking at the chart to see what was happening, right? And we saw some support give way last night. Well, depending on where you were, my time, in the wee hours of the night, right? And you could see where price began to fall with it. Now, how do you tell if this is if it's a rug pull, or if the liquidity has been moved, or if it has been taken? So let's start by looking up here in some of these areas where it appears to have been taken. Now, worth noting that this price line here is updated on a 5-minute candle. So it doesn't show you every micro move in the range. It shows you where candle close is on that price line. Just like, if you're using a line chart versus a candle chart, that's how it behaves. I will tell you that we are in process of expanding our infrastructure so that this becomes a live active chart instead of the 5-minute updates. It will be essentially a real-time chart, and we'll have much higher resolution with these price moves, as well as with what is happening in the background of the chart. So if you're unfamiliar, all of these colors, all of these ranges are liquidity, aka support and resistance. If it's below the price line, it's support. If it's above the price line, it's resistance. And you can see here, right in front of us, this resistance just got thinner. We can tell how much is there by looking at the scale on the left-hand side of the chart. And we are also able to pinpoint it by using the price tool. This tag right here is a price tag tool. And so by the color of the range indicates how much liquidity is there. And again, we can see it here on the chart. So we had 9.8 million, and it just turned into 8.8 million. So 1 million was taken. Now, how can we tell if that was taken or if it was pulled? Well, again, it's a 5-minute resolution. So we may not have seen if price dipped down into here. However, we can obviously look at, we could look at a candle chart and see that, but we can also look down on the CVD and see where we had some dumps. Now, the CVD is our cumulative volume delta tool, and this is different than other CVD charts out there. There are some, many good products, on the market. This one is different because you'll notice it's binned into several different ranges. And what these ranges are the size of the order. So let me identify what's what here. The blue line, this blue line, actually, let me click them out so you can see a little bit better. Okay. The blue line is the sum of all. This is the true CVD. This is the sum of all orders, cumulative volume delta of all orders. Now, what makes that up? What's driving that? Well, we have small $100 to $1,000 orders, often deemed retail, but anybody can disguise an order that size. These could be whale micro trading bots, and by the volume that we see in them and the way that they move the book, that very well may be the case. That's me speculating, but this isn't necessarily just retail traders. Green, $1,000 to $10,000 orders. Red is 10,000, 100,000. Purple, 100,000, $1 million order whales. and the brown ones are $1 million to $10 million orders. Those are our mega whales, and you can see that one dumped right here. Now, this tool is normalized to make it easier to spot the moves. But if we want to see the actual value of what is being bought or sold, we click the normalize. Excuse me. We click the normalize button, and we can now take a closer look. And we can also expand this range to make it easier to see. We can zoom in, we can zoom out, we can do whatever we want here. Okay, so this little move right here was at 1.26, and all right, so that was $1 million move. Easy, a little over $1 million move. Now you can see where everybody else came into play here, right? These mega whales were selling, and these whales bought that dip. Now let's see how that translates overall. Okay, this buy, when this dip buy up, and this is the bounce that we're looking at right here, was we went from roughly $73 million up to 71. So $2 million, right? $2 million in buy orders. Now you can see more resistance rather coming overhead. And this is, part of what pushed this price down. We saw the liquidity come in. We saw it push price down. We saw support disappear in places like this, and disappear in places like this, and disappear in places like this. And often when we see these moves, we look to see where those orders may have scaled up to. Let me try and make this a little bit bigger. Okay, we try and see where these orders may have scaled up to. And it's not always evident. A lot of times it's very clear, sometimes it's not. Now, let's take a look relative to where this happened in time. This happened, and as you can see on the tag tool, on the data tag tool, you can see the time in the top right of that box. Okay, let's call it around 11:25 is when that was pulled. And okay, so here's some laddered up. That was not at the same time. Okay, that happened earlier. So that was not this move. This is not this move. This is not this move. Also not. Okay, so not from the same trader, not the same order. This trade, this position here, which was a buy order, $13.8 million worth, just got pulled. Okay, so maybe they decided to put this money elsewhere. Maybe they decided to pull this money and put it in the stock market. No telling, but it doesn't look like it has reappeared here in this order book at this time. Now, that's certainly not always the case. In fact, frequently it is the case where you can see the moves laddered up. Let's see if we can spot one for you. Lots of great traders in our community, and very glad to have them there, and many of them watching online. So, and if you guys have questions and charts you want to see, feel free to put them in the chat, and I'll take a look. Let's look at another chart and see if we can get another view. Actually, it's really good to take a broader view of these sometimes, and kind of take a step back and see what's happening at a wider perspective. So there's definitely a bit of a bullfight here, and the fact that liquidity is diminishing here a bit, you want to see this replenish. We've got a bounce for the moment, but not sure whether that will hold or not with the pressure coming in overhead. I want to just renormalize this CVD just for the sake of taking a peek, and you can see downward pressure now. Okay, so looks like all classes are selling. We see a little bit more replenishing in at this 16,000 level. So we were at 9.8 million, went down to 8.7 million, and now back up to almost 2 million. So it is replenishing, which is, a a good sign for bulls or anybody in this position. Let's take a look at ETH, because ETH has been kind of on the edge of a breakout, which appeared to happen earlier today. And just before we started here, it was pulling back a little bit with this BTC pullback. So let's see where we sit right now on ETH. And similarly to the BTC chart, you see significant resistance overhead, $6.7 million worth at the 480 level. And this liquidity down here has been taken. So that means there's less support between this level here at 467 and this level here at 462. So it very well could drop down further. I want to zoom this out just a bit and see if we can get a better perspective and maybe find some of these moves. Okay, here's a good example of liquidity being moved. Okay, you can see it lines up perfectly, right? We had 1.9 million sitting here at this level around 418, 419, and it went to 1.3, right? So $600,000. You go from 1.4 million to 2 million. So there's your 600,000. That's very easy to see. And the fact that it is being pulled down, shifting down a bit, may, again, nothing is 100%, but it may indicate that there is a chance that support is thinning here, and that is an indication sometimes that price may follow. So you can also see that this person is also laddered up positions, right? This looks to be at exactly the same time. So laddering is also something that you can identify here on the FireCharts. So that's like just a quick overview of what we see. And again, the CVD tool is your friend here when you want to really try and get granular and understand what is happening, what class of traders are making the moves and driving the book. You know, we often think it's the whales, and frequently that is the case. But what we're finding by studying these charts with this kind of granular detail, by breaking these down into these bins of different ranges of trade sizes, we're identifying what's really moving the book. So let me just reload here, get a fresh. My screen zoomed out a little bit, so it behaves a little funky. So this right here, this is not support taken. This is support pulled right here and moved. And it actually looks like this person may be playing both sides of the book, because look, this little sliver, maybe he made a market buy right here. And now this would be their sell target. So what you can see here, and let me get down to the tool a little bit. Let's try and identify who's really driving the book. Okay, it's easy to say, okay, the mega whales are doing it. Look, we had a mega whale buy here, at about let's see, 135, and at the same time we saw price start to move up. Well, that wasn't the only buyer, right? Looks like just about all classes bought, with the exception of this lower class that sold into that liquidity. And that's what makes me think this is not just retail traders. That's savvy traders right there, trying not to have any slippage, selling into the liquidity like that. I would be hard pressed to believe that that's just your average retail trader making small trades. Those are calculated moves, in my opinion. So in ETH, it seems like this class, the red class of $10,000 to $100,000 orders, really hugs the price line, or the price line hugs this class of trades more so than any other in the book. Obviously, when they all combine, you get the momentum amplified in whichever direction that it's going. And that often does happen, especially on big moves. In this case here, we saw most classes. Now we did see retail. We saw these smaller class of orders sell, but they quickly began to buy that dip, right? And as everybody else was. So this is how you can use the tools, the data visualization tools in FireCharts to identify what is actually happening in the order book. Now, again, this is from Binance, and we are expanding to be able to add additional exchanges, and that will be coming in the not too distant future. Just going to check here and see if we have any questions or comments in the chat. Our community, again, on Telegram is really a fantastic place to hang out. One of our members this morning said, this seems like meeting at the fishing pier every morning, because we have this great group, lots of camaraderie, lots of good ideas being shared, and it just seems to have a really good feel to it. And so I hope that you will continue. Those of you that are there will continue to contribute in the way that you do. And I hope that this invitation here inspires some of you who may be new to material indicators to come join us in our Telegram community. It is absolutely free. Like I said, we've got close to 1,000 traders around the globe. Has a good intimate feel to it. And everybody is there sharing ideas. Lots of people, we have traders of all different levels of experience. From seasoned professional traders to noobs, and everybody is sharing insights and gaining insights, and a lot of learning going on. And that, I think, is one of the things that makes our community very, very special, and quite honestly, is a value proposition to our products, because obviously a lot of people there are using the products. Not everybody is, but a lot of people there are using the products. And they are, sharing strategies with each other. Hey there, Max. Good to have you here. Hey there, Loner. Nice to see you. When will OKX be added? Great question. We are going to be adding really the top exchanges, those with the most trade volume on them. And this is a process that is an ongoing process. I will tell you that the code is actually already written. At this point, it's a matter of expanding our infrastructure to be able to accommodate that. And for those who may be new to us, Material Indicators actually just launched our first commercial products like September 30th, beginning of October 1st. And so we have a very small team. We have bootstrapped everything in a very modest infrastructure to get to where we are thus far. And we are working feverishly to scale. And I have to thank the members who have joined us early on, the early adopters. So far, that money has not lined anybody's pockets. We're using it to build out the infrastructure. So that work is going on as we speak. It's development work. So I'm reluctant to give a hard date to it. But I would say sooner than later. Okay. So whether that happens by the end of the year or not remains to be seen. It just, it depends on what kind of hurdles and roadblocks we run into along the way. Max asking what exchange would be first. Well, once we get this scaled, we're going to be able to do so at a pretty robust pace. Like I said, the actual code has been written, and last I saw, there were multiple exchanges in there. I don't want to rattle them all off because it's been a while, but it would be the larger exchanges. OKX, obviously, one of them, and I think it's not necessarily going to be we do one at a time. If we do, it's just going to be to kind of load test as we go in. But I think it's safe to say that we'll probably have probably half a dozen or more in the first, if not at once in the first phase. So, and we're going to go likely in priority of size of those exchanges. So OKX being what it is, as long as they can stay out of litigation like some of the other exchanges between now and then, they should be okay, and we could expect to see them on there. I will say, if you want more details, more granular detail on that, Max, you can always ask Fred, aka Material Scientist, in our community. Fred, one of our co-founders, and he would be the guy who is spearheading that effort to get those exchanges added and get this infrastructure expanded for us. So again, we appreciate you guys joining us. Thanks, guys, for joining us again. And if anybody, before I go, if you got a chart you want to see, I'm happy to throw it up and take a look. In the meantime, I do want to take another peek at BTC and ETH and see what they're doing before we get out of here. And again, before I get out of here, I want to invite you to go over to materialindicators.com and check us out. We've got great suite of products, links to get to the community, tutorial videos, and much, much more. OLR says there's a lot of good traders here. Maybe we could start a community private academy. That's a good idea. We actually do have a VIP community for our longer term subscribers. So if that's something that you're interested in, you want to join that group, a lot of those guys are engaging in our regular community as well, but we go a little bit deeper in the VIP community and share some things that aren't necessarily being shared publicly with the community. So if that's something you're interested, we do actually offer licenses to all of our products, 3 months, 6 month, 12 month, and then the multi-year licenses, 2-year, 3-year, and lifetime licenses. Those are the folks who are making up our VIP community, and we'd love to have you there as well. So let's again, as I said, share the screen and take another peek at BTC and ETH before I wrap this up. Back to the panel app. Again, if you're just joining us, this is a peek at our live FireCharts web app. I'm gonna reload this so you see what it is when we actually load the screen fresh. Okay, so this is our this is where you enter your ticker. Let's go with BTC. Oh, you know what? This is interesting here. We also support all the leverage coins, so sometimes we can tell what is about to happen by getting a sense of what the leveraged coins are doing. So, for example, let's take a look at BTC down, and BTC down looks like it is resting on support and has some resistance overhead. The sentiment of the market is there could be more down because they're still buying in this direction. So let's see if there's any confluence between what BTC down is. One would think that BTC up would be just the opposite. And if it's not, it means there's not real consensus. So let's take a look and see what BTC up looks like. When you're not sure what the market's going to do, I really like to get this 360 perspective. And it looks like, again, here we are. Here is significant support, and really some room overhead. So one class of traders was selling, others were buying. The whales are not in this one yet at this level or at this price, but at least not in the last 24 hours. However, we can take a broader look. Let's look and see what the last week looked like and see if we had whales buying. All right, we can actually take this view out to 3 years if we wanted to go that far. So, we're not seeing huge orders in these coins because, again, they're leveraged coins. So, leveraging $1 million or more is probably a risky move that doesn't need to be taken. Let's look again at BTC and see But you can see the consensus here, though, right? Of where, and the sentiment of where the buying began, and look how price followed. Okay, these guys were buying the dip right here. They were buying the dip, and boom. So let's go to the mothership. BTC. All right. This is actually really interesting on BTC to look at this at an expanded view, and I want to show you why. And Fred pointed this out to me. I think it's actually pretty significant. So look at the levels that that the whales and mega whales started buying. Obviously, there was there was sell off here as it was climbing, because they knew that it was going to dump, and it dumped shortly after. And once we saw price crossing, 6,000 was a big barrier for a long time, right? Big barrier for a long time. And then we saw that buying pressure start to come back in. And then 10,000. Look, we got to 10,000 here. And look how buying ratcheted up from the whales and mega whales once we crossed 10,000. So 14,000 was the considered largely as the last confirmation level to break for, to confirm the bull market breakout. And we see another, strong leg upwards here. Now, the next significant resistance, if you look at the structure, and let me see if I can pull that one up for you quickly. The next significant resistance on Bitcoin is likely about $1,000 from here to the upside, and then just before the all-time high. And hold on one second, and I will switch screens and show you what I'm talking about. And let's go to let's share the BTC chart. And this is not trading advice. This is not investment advice. Just giving you a look at the macro chart here. Let's reel it in. I had everything set for my big screen, and when I do these live streams, I'm just on the small screen, so it's a little crazy. Bear with me. So structurally, right? We've cleared the prior highs. The next prior high, at least on Binance, was around 17,176, and then the all-time high at 19,798, right? So this is the next major hurdle to cross, and we could be knocking on that anytime. And there doesn't seem to be a lot of concern from these whales and mega whales. This $1,000 means nothing when you're making $1 million orders. This kind of price movement with the upside potential that Bitcoin has and the sentiment that Bitcoin has, these big traders want the confirmations before they get in, or as they DCA. They're looking for these confirmations, and this would be the next one here at the $17,000 range, and then of course the all-time high here. So let's see what that looks like on the fire chart before we wrap it up here. So let me stop this screen, go back to my stream. Let's clear this out for you too. Okay. And I want to share that fire chart one more time with you and show you what the longer term view, longer term perspective is at this point. So let's go back to the daily and just get a level set for where we're at right now. We have the most resolution at this point. And again, once we scale this infrastructure, you're going to see the actual heat map on those longer term views as well. All of that is going to be coming into view. So we're very excited about these upgrades that are in process right now. Okay, so a little bit of a liquidity void overhead, which means we could have an easier run up to this next level of resistance at around 16,340 range or 16,400 range. And then as you get up to the 16,500 range, you're now looking at $14 million of resistance. So 14 plus another 12, there's 26 million in resistance right there. Boom, right overhead. And there's another 4.5 million. So this is rapidly becoming a more significant and dense sell wall. Well, this is dwindling a bit, right? We had 9.8 million. We have 9.1 million. And I have someone pinging me. So let's see what that is. Oh, that looks like I may have just had an order filled. That's what that was. Good to know. So now I'm watching even closer. So I used the fire chart to set my order, and I'll show you how I did that. Okay, I set an order right at this level, actually just above. So I wouldn't get missed. I set it right above at 16,050, and it was just filled a few minutes ago. And it's not bouncing. So I'm going to watch this very closely, right? If I want to play it tight, if it gets past this 15,940, I'm going to dump it. So we'll watch that. And again, let's look at a broader view now of where we could be going here. And I'm now going to zoom. I can even just scroll. We see some resistance here at 17,000, obviously. And as we get closer to those prices, expect the liquidity to move up and fill in around it. You know, at this point, look, this has been pulled and likely moved. 19,000, not a ton here, not a ton. These are just little way stations, little pit stops along the way. 20,000, that's, above the all-time high. And that is an area where, as we get close to that area, you better believe a lot of liquidity is going to fill into this area. So you have to watch it. It's always changing, always changing. And FireCharts gives us a live view of what's happening at all times. So if this seems like something you're interested in, it's a tool that can help you identify opportunities, mitigate risk, and maximize the profitability of your trades. I encourage you to visit us at materialindicators.com. Make sure you click on the link to join us on Telegram, join that community, and check out the products. See if you see something you like. Lots of tutorials there, and all the information you need you'll find in our Telegram community. So when you go to materialindicators.com, click on that Telegram button and join us, please. Again, nothing here has been investment advice or trading advice. Please, 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 if you like the content, please comment, like, share, and subscribe. Really, really helps us out. And if you want to get FireCharts now, you can do so at materialindicators.com. My name's Keith Allen. Thanks for joining me. Have a great weekend and trade safe, my friends.